Peace and blessings to those who worship the Most High in spirit and in truth. This video is for the parents out there who feel like they're in the dilemma of them needing a break from their children, yet at the same time, they don't trust anybody for their children to be with. So what I want to do is just give some tips that have worked for me as a parent and share them with you, and also open up the comment section for conversation of any other parents out there that have insight to share on how they've dealt with this dilemma of living in a time where sometimes you need a break from your children, but yet because people are so weird now in these times, you don't really trust anybody to watch your children, whether it's family, whether it's people at the school, whether it's daycare. You don't really trust anybody else to watch your children for whatever reason. So this video is for those parents out there that are looking for insights, answers, and solutions on how is it that you're able to get a break from your children and not put them in the hands of somebody that you don't trust. So I just want to go through a few tips that's helped for me in my life dealing with my children. The number one tip that has worked for me is putting them to bed earlier. That gives me time after putting them to bed earlier, that once they're asleep, I have a good 4 or 5 hours to decompress, clear my head, to pray, to get things sorted out, to handle business that I wasn't able to handle during today. Because as a father, I want to give my children the utmost attention, care, and have a valuable presence for them. And I do that all throughout the day. So I want to make sure that I have time. And I've learned over the years with my children that putting them to bed earlier gives me more time at night while they're asleep. And it even got to the point that when they were younger, one thing I would do is I would even act like I was going to go to bed. I would lay down, my wife would tell them a story, go over some verses, scriptures, whatever the case may be, until they fell asleep. So I would act like I'm about to go to sleep too, because I learned that whenever I would just tell them, y'all go to bed, lay down, that they would not immediately go to bed. But whenever I laid down with them and act like I was going to sleep too, that made them go to sleep quicker. And then I would just get right back up after they fell asleep and go about my business, getting my free time to clear my mind, handle extra business, whatever the case. So putting them to bed at a certain time and then me getting that time when they're asleep, that is one tip that has worked whenever I've needed a break from the kids. And I want people to understand, by doing this video, I'm not saying that we don't love our children. I'm not saying that we want to neglect our children. Never. That's never the mindset. That's never the case. I'm just being honest, and that the fact is, in these times, children can be very needy. Children can be very draining. Children can be very stressful. Children can be very annoying. Children can be very selfish. Children can be very expensive. There's a lot of parents out there that feel like they're at the point of getting burnt out. You put so much into your children only to come to find out that some of them, whenever they're grown or get older, that they don't even treat you as if you mattered and you did everything you were supposed to do. You did everything you were supposed to do as a parent, but some of them still aren't following the life that you taught them and the ways that you taught them, and they're following after the world. They're following after the trends. You've done all you can. So I'm just being honest in these times that people are getting drained with their children, and people need a break from their children, but they love their children so much, they're not willing to just put their children in the hands of anybody, because it's a lot of weirdos out here. It's a lot of weirdos out here at the schools, the daycares, that are teaching the children destructive ideas, putting their hands on the children, that don't care about the children. And you being a human, you still need that break, but you don't trust to put them in the hands of everybody. So again, one tip is, if you need that break, use nighttime when they're asleep. as a time to get your break, to clear your head. Another thing is unsupervised but observed activities. Here's what I mean by that. This is an activity that you can put the children on where they're off to themselves and you're still able to get a break, but they're still in the house with you. They're still somewhere where you can observe what they're doing, but you're still detached enough where you're getting a mental break and a release. One thing that's worked that I've done is I'll put them on videos, but not just watching any videos, because that's another thing. You don't just want to put your children on devices. That's not a solution in these times either, especially not for long periods of time. But one thing I'll do, I'll let them know, okay, you want to watch YouTube, you want to watch some videos. In order for you to watch that, you have to finish the video, and I need you to copy the script and the captions. You know how on the videos you can turn on the captions to see what people are saying? And I'll have them write out the captions. Get a notebook, go into a room off to themselves and write the whole video. Not only does this help with their imagination and it helps improve their writing because they're copying all the captions, it also helps with their imagination whenever they want to come up with their own stories. So that's another thing I do. I tell them to go off to a room and write a story that's better than the YouTube video they just watched. So that helps with their imagination. That helps with reading, writing, learning. And it's something that they can go do on their own and give you some space, but yet you're still observing what they're doing. That's helped me as well. Another thing that's helped is getting them in activities where it's unsupervised, but yet you can still observe. Like there was one thing I got them in. It was like a tumbling karate class where they were with the teacher, but I was still there. They had an area where the parents could view. And that gave me a break. Sometime I would bring my laptop and do business on the laptop while they're in there. I'll put my son in basketball. Where I'm at here in Georgia, they got the I-9 League and the AAU, you know. Let him play his game for a couple hours. I put my daughter in swimming. So I put them in activities where I can still be there and observe, but they're still doing the activity for a long enough time where I'm still getting a break and a mental break. You see? So these are some tips and techniques you can use when you need a break from your children, but you may not trust your family enough to just put them with your sisters or brothers or aunts or uncles or whoever. And again, it may not be that these people are bad people. It may be something like, for instance, me, I'm big on self-defense. So it's not that I'm scared of some of my family members molesting the children or, you know, doing something crazy. It may be that that family member may not be as self-defense minded as I am. So if I leave them over to their house and let's say they go to the mall or go to a movie or something, I need to know that my children are with somebody that can defend them. If some sex traffickers come up and try to snatch my children, I need to make sure they're with some people that can handle themselves with firearms to make sure that doesn't happen. So sometimes it may not be that the family is weirdos. It may be that, you know, you don't trust them to handle a situation if it came to them needing to physically protect your children. You know, things like that. And I understand in these times, we have to put things in the hands of the Most High and let him handle it. We can't be super overprotective of our children. I do understand that as well. But it just comes down to the fact that whenever they're at certain ages, we have to make sure we're protecting them from a world that has every trap set to destroy them. So those are three things that have helped for me in whenever I need a break from the children, but I don't really trust for anybody else to watch them. Anybody else has any suggestions, feel free to put it in the comment section. It's all about helping parents not get drained, not get burnt out. It's all about helping parents out there not be neglectful. It's all about helping us raise these children in this dark, cold world and doing our best for them not to be destroyed by all the weirdos and all the weird ideas that's out here in this crazy world. So all praise to the Most High. All is well. Well, so let it be. Yah reigns forever.